Welcome to Women Who Recruit. I'm your host, Laura, founder of Hopes Consult, a training and advisory business for recruitment agencies in Australia. I've spent my entire career in recruitment, and I'm just as passionate about our industry today as I was nearly 20 years ago. The purpose of this podcast is to get to know and celebrate the incredible women who dedicate their careers to our industry. This isn't just about their highlight reels or the big rise to the top, although we will definitely touch on that. We'll be talking about what it actually looks like: career choices, leadership challenges, ambition, doubt, burnout, and the constant juggle of work, family, and everything in between. If you work in recruitment and you want to be inspired by the stories of women in our industry, then this podcast is definitely for you. Welcome to Women Who Recruit. I am so glad you are here. Hi, everyone. Welcome to this week's episode. I am absolutely delighted to be here with Jill Ryder today. Thank you so much for joining me.
Good to be here.
So I'm going to start, as I always do, just by reading out Jill's bio, which she kindly sent through, just to give you guys some context around her background and who she is. So Jill began her recruitment career in London with Harvey Nash before relocating to Australia and founding Precision Sourcing. Now in its 21st year, the group has expanded to include Vinova and Medirec. With more than 28 years of recruitment experience across the UK and Australia, Jill provides strategic leadership across the group, while remaining actively involved in hands-on recruitment, specialising in senior technology appointments and project services. She's recognised for her deep market expertise, an extensive network, and commitment to delivering exceptional outcomes for clients and candidates. Originally from Yorkshire and has lived in Australia for 23 years, but still proud to have kept her accent. Outside work, she's mum to 2 teenage girls, enjoys catching up with friends over a good red wine, and definitely shops more than she should. She likes to keep active and is attempting her first marathon in August if she can make it through her training program without injuries. I didn't know that. Full marathon.
No, I haven't told many people.
And now you're telling everyone.
Well, I'm figuring that hopefully this won't come out until I'm ready to go public with it. Basically, yeah. My mum passed away in January, and I was like looking at the London Marathon and people running for people, and I was like, oh, maybe I'll give it a go. And I just put a charity application in, thinking it'd be too late. So I only did it 4 weeks ago.
Yeah, okay.
And then weekend passed, and then Monday I got the email saying you're in. So,
oh my God.
yeah.
And it's so hard to get in, isn't it?
Well, I've got a charity place.
Yeah, okay.
So, yeah. But then I don't want to tell people just yet, because obviously I am 50 and I've never run a marathon before. So I'm just like, got a running coach. I'm now week 5.
Yeah.
So yeah, see how it goes.
How's it feeling?
Yeah, it's good. It's
Yeah.
good. I haven't done much yet though. I'm only like, because you're a runner, aren't you?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm only up to 14 this week, go to 18K.
That's pretty,
and then 2 10Ks during the week.
that's pretty good to
Yeah,
be.
it's just see whether I can get through it without injury.
Yeah. Yeah. The thought of a full marathon for me is, I can't wrap my head around it.
I don't need any negativity. I went into the gym and I was like, so I signed up for this. And then I got all these people telling me all these war stories. I'm like, can you just shut up?
Yeah, that's not what you need.
And
No.
like, oh, it's really hilly. Like, yeah,
Oh,
okay.
is it? No,
Yeah,
you don't
it
need
is.
to know that.
It is really hilly, apparently.
The Sydney half was really hilly this year. Really
Is
surprised
that what
me.
you did? Oh, no, like,
Yeah.
this is what I don't want to hear.
No, but I think it's best not to know. Like,
Yeah,
my
I think just going
best
blind.
advice, just don't look at the route. Just don't look
Oh,
at
I've
it.
had a look at it.
Oh, okay. Like trying to put
And then I
us
put
back
that
on
away
track.
and it's like, oh, well, we'll deal with that in a few more weeks.
Yeah, I almost didn't want to know. It's just like, let it be a surprise.
Yeah.
That's very exciting.
Yeah. / nerve-wracking.
Yes,
Anyway,
yes.
that's all right.
And so, Jill, you've had this incredible career, and founded, in my opinion, one of the most credible and inspiring agencies in Australia. I have such admiration for what you've built and for the brand in market. But if we go back all the way to like the start of your recruitment career, right? Yeah. Like, what did you think it would look like? Did you know much about it when you got into it? Was it something you actively pursued? Did you fall into it like most of people do?
Yeah. So a lot of my friends like take the mick out of me still, saying that I wing things. Obviously I've matured a bit now, but I wouldn't say I had like this grand, massive plan. Like, I left uni, I went home, all my friends went down to London. I had a year at home, a bit of time on the dole as well, like having a good time. I remember one morning my dad went, "Are you going to get a job or what?" And then I was like, okay, so I better start looking for a job. Got a job got 2 jobs. One working for this, it's called Mother Shipton's Cave in Knaresborough. Like, right. I would have been dressing up, like being part of the experience.
Oh my God, I love it.
And then the other one was IT sales. So I took the IT sales one. And then did that for about a year. And then my really good friend rang me up and went, "You should try recruitment. It's really easy and you make loads of money." So I was like, and it's in London. I was like, yeah, nothing to lose here. So went down for the interview, and actually the guy interviewing me, I was in the halls of residence with him as well, so he was a year above me.
Funny.
And then that's how I got into it. And then things kind of evolved and just happened. I'd love to say I had like this massive grand plan and it was all really well thought through, but it wasn't. Started in London, Harvey Nash, did contract recruitment. Within about a year, started leading teams.
Wow.
I was very young, naive, made loads of mistakes, and then switched companies, and then met my now husband, who's an Australian. And then within a year was over here and moved here in 2003.
Yeah, right.
And then worked just a year for Hayes. I went back into recruiting because a couple of years prior to that, I was totally out of recruiting, leading teams. And then came to Hayes, decided to take a role which was recruiting again. And then, decided, give it a go. It's like I was 30. I thought it's now or never. It was just that. And I was like, I'll give it a go.
Is in opening, going out on your own?
And then, started Precision in 2000 and... No, hang on. This is our 21st year, so 21 years ago.
Yeah.
2005?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, obviously, that phone call, it's super easy, you'll make loads of money. Did you find it easy? Was it did it feel natural for you? Or did it, what was that first year like for you?
First year, well, one of your little questions that you sent me was, what was the hardest parts in your career? So I'd say that first year was horrendous.
Yeah, okay.
I am naturally really shy. I grew up in a small town. I went to uni in a small town, Loughborough, came back home. And then all of a sudden I was in London. And I was living with a couple of friends, but they'd got seconded out. They were overseas. So I was on my own. It was really hard the first year. It was like a revolving door. Back then it was people come, people go.
Yeah.
I didn't feel very confident. Yeah, basically shat myself. And then was like, okay, just push myself really, and then started doing well.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of phone calls home crying, going, "Oh, I don't know if I can do this." It's just felt totally alien to what I was used to doing. But then it was probably sooner than a year, maybe about 6 or 7 months in, I started doing all right. Started doing well, started making friends, including Simon. So I recruited him as part of my team back in Harvey Nash in Mayfair. And he then came over. Don't know how many years, I should know these dates, but I'm really bad with dates. But anyway, came over a fair while ago and then became my business partner at Precision.
That's amazing.
So I've known him a long time.
A long time. And you guys would have, you've worked together then that entire time.
Yeah.
It's funny. I feel like we've got very similar stories in that, I moved up to London without knowing anyone, and took my first 360 recruitment role. And it was the beginning of, Lehman Brothers crashed and it was the beginning of the recession.
And so 98 or 99?
No, 2008, right? Oh my
was
God,
it? Oh gosh,
dates.
Okay. Yeah, sorry. 2008 is when Simon came over here.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so it was the GFC.
Yeah.
And I just remember, I was out of my depth in all areas of my life, my career. I didn't know anyone in London. I'd left all my friends behind, all my family. And I just remember being like, shit, like, what am I doing? This is really, because I think what surprised me most about it is I just didn't, I've been a candidate manager and a resourcer, but I just don't think I realized the intensity of the sales piece. Like how differently I would feel about the client piece than I did the candidate piece. Which I think is a lot of the challenge for a lot of people who don't naturally come from a sales background, right? And I think I saw a post of yours maybe a couple of months ago, a few weeks ago, about how you're naturally quite introverted, right? You said like naturally quite shy. And I think actually some of the best recruiters I know are more introverted. But do you think that affected, like, how do you think that affected your career? Like, because recruitment can be such an extroverted industry, sales, Do you think it was actually a superpower for you, or do you think it made it harder?
I think personally it's harder as an introvert because you kind of have to push yourself. I've learned to do things that feel quite uncomfortable and quite draining for me, and whereas someone else said just breathe through it and wouldn't think twice about it. So I think personally it's harder, but obviously as you get older things change, and I suppose I still am introverted, but you get used to putting yourself out there and doing things that are uncomfortable, and then you feel good about doing it afterwards. So I would say it's just something that you kind of learn to live with, and it goes with you and changes throughout your career. I think it's a positive thing. Introverts, it's a good thing because probably more focused on listening rather than talking most of the time. Not always, but and I think that is a really good and important trait of a good recruiter and also a good leader, to have good listening skills. And then the other thing, I suppose, which does help you might be a bit less salesy, so it might be a bit more attractive to clients to be a bit more authentic.
I think it's refreshing for them, right? Like it's not that natural, what they associate as the recruitment personality. Like it goes against their confirmation bias of what they think recruiters are, you know? Someone who's like, you know, I guess more prone to doing the research and more softly spoken and more inquisitive in that. It's just a different energy, I think, an introverted energy.
And I think the process of doing things that are uncomfortable has changed, because I do actually remember my first year, and I was like, probably can't swear, but I was just like, fuck it, I've just got to do it. I'm going to get sacked, so I've just got to do it. And then so I just have to do it, and like, and then hate it, and then it's just practice, isn't it? And things become a lot easier then.
Yeah. What was the culture like at Harvey Nash?
It's good fun. We had it like, it was, once I'd got over that initial maybe about 6 or 8 months, it was the best time. It was just so much fun. It was, you go out all the time, wouldn't you? Like from Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, going out. We had great incentives. It was like work hard, play hard. It sounds cheesy, but it was. And then, like we went to Madrid, we went all over the place, New York, loads of places. It was good fun. It's good. It was a really good place to learn as well. Some really good recruiters that I worked with. And my first boss, my immediate boss, so bearing in mind that my sort of mate had hired me, and then a few months later, he went, oh yeah, we put you with her because we thought that you were the only person that could cope with her. I was like, thanks for that. But she was hard. She was really hard, but she was an absolute weapon to like watch and learn from. Yeah. And I learned from some really good people there.
Awesome. And I want to ask you about like the first year of Precision.
Yeah.
Because
I can remember.
Like, 21 years ago? Yeah. Was Simon with you at that point?
No.
You went, it was fully you on your own.
Yeah. So I was on my own for about the first maybe 6 or 7 months. And then I hired a trainee resourcer. Yeah. So
how was it?
Like first year was good.
Yeah. So easy when you're on your own, hey?
Yeah.
Simple.
Yeah. Especially, I think I'd become a bit like over. Well, the Hayes time leading people, I didn't necessarily enjoy that role that much there, but it was a good learning ground because I kind of got to know the market here and the differences and a different market. Project services had never recruited in that area before. So it was really good from that perspective, and good working in a big agency like that, getting that experience. But it was refreshing just to be on your own and just to worry about yourself. I started, so we remember Laffer. Did you have Laffer when you came? Living away from home allowance.
I forgot that was even a thing.
I was like living like the high life. We had this apartment, brand new apartment down by the harbour and stuff. But then obviously I had to get rid of all that because I then went on a different visa. And we went from Beverly Hills to the Bronx. We were like totally downsized, a small apartment, tiny car. And I think I lasted 2 weeks at home and I was like, I cannot cope with this. It was just, I needed to be in an office. So I went in a shared office with my friend who owned Barton Mills recruitment, rec to rec. Yeah. So that was good. It was good to be around other people. And then from there went and got serviced offices.
Okay.
And started growing the team.
And did you have a plan for it? Well, was the plan, if you look at the business now and the business is now the group, like, did you have a plan or were you wing it? Like,
do you remember what I said at the beginning? Yeah, I was just winging it. I had like a very basic plan, but it was more like it wasn't anything grand. It was definitely just giving it a go and winging it. Yeah. So it's good. It's been good.
And it's funny, isn't it? Because, you know, back when you would have been doing that, like there's been such a rise, I think, in the last definitely 2 years, but started kind of post-COVID of people going out on their own and very much like that sole trader recruitment model and that being accessible for people now and people actually not wanting to grow the business. But I think, even when we started Lotus, that just wasn't really, you know, that was 11 years ago. That wasn't really a thing. And so when you would have started Precision, like it would have always been, I guess,
with
the
expectation,
to expand it.
I never really went in thinking I was going to just be a sole trader. I'd always had, even though I was winging it and probably didn't have a clear plan as to how, even though hopefully no one on my team is listening to this. It was all very well thought through, but no, it wasn't. It was more that kind of old school, the way to succeed is to expand in terms of people.
Yeah.
Because I think people are a bit more cluey now.
Yeah, and I think, I think it's easier to set up on your own, go out on your own now. And I also think there's been a big rise of like lifestyle businesses.
That's right. And that wasn't really
it wasn't a thing.
I don't think I knew anyone. No, I don't think I knew anyone that was doing that.
And everyone, you know, and most of us came from those training backgrounds, like those kind of big corporate structured agencies in the UK where they had their formal training programs and you came in and it was growth of divisions, it was growth nationally, internationally. So I think we were kind of born into an environment where like growth means expansion of people as opposed to just revenue.
100%.
And the leadership piece, has that been something you've enjoyed throughout your career? Because you're still on the tools, right? You still actively recruit now. Which bit do you prefer? Do you have a preference?
My roles have changed based on kind of either what's going on in the business or what's going on personally. So I've led big teams at Precision, then I've come totally off and other people have taken those people leadership roles. I'm now not direct, no one directly reports to me. I do like people leadership. I like getting involved. Obviously, I'm still heavily involved with the team and do a lot of work with them day to day. And I like that. I like that kind of people involvement, watching people grow, helping them if they've got problems, mentoring them. I like that. And I also like not having to be kind of responsible for it directly. Do you know what I mean?
100%,
so I kind of got best of both worlds, I suppose, at the moment.
I mean, that's exactly why I started my training business, you know,
like I love
you didn't want direct. Yeah, but I just, because, you know, I think with Lotus, once we got it up and running and we were 2 years in.
How many did you have working there? Or have you
it's definitely fluctuated over the years. When I decided to exit, I think we were at 10.
Yeah. Okay.
And I had just reached a point where, I really loved the training and the coaching and the mentoring, but we were not at a size where we couldn't, as leaders, be really hands-on.
Yeah, okay.
And I think I started to not struggle with it, but I just kind of knew that wasn't what I wanted to do long term.
Yeah.
I didn't want to manage a team. I didn't want to grow a team, but I loved being alongside it. And I've been in Precision. You still sit out on the floor, don't you, with the guys? So you're so involved with them.
Yeah. And I enjoy that. We have a good laugh there. They do like keep, it sounds like old, but they do keep you young because it's just funny. We have good fun. So I get all the upside of it.
Yeah, the best bits.
Yeah.
And has there been, over that 21 years, has there been any time where you've just been like, fuck this, like it's got too hard, or the business isn't going in the direction that you wanted, and you've thought about throwing in the towel, and like what's kept you going with it?
I think, there's been a couple of times more early on. Like I think things have evolved, lucky for us, but in a good way. Maybe the last 4 or 5 years, we've really done well and kicked a lot of goals, but it wasn't always like that. There was a point, I think before Simon came, I was like, I don't know how much longer I can do this. It was just, I was like burnt out. I was billing. So, I mean, that on its own, and to bill well, you have to put in the hours. Then I was leading a team, and it was quite, at that time, probably not, some weren't like right for the business. So that was difficult. And then personally, I was in that first year, I got married. And then the year after that, my dad died. So it was like a compound effect. And I was like, oh God. So at that point there, I was like, I don't know if I can carry on doing this. But then, Simon arrived. The difference in having another person as a business partner. So there's 3 of us. There's my husband, who's a director, myself and Simon. But at that point, my husband wasn't really that involved day to day. So before he arrived, it felt very much like you're on your own. And when things were going wrong, I just noticed I felt very like isolated. I didn't have anyone. I didn't have any mentors or anyone that I was leaning on. So it was difficult. But then, Simon arrived, someone to kind of bounce off. And I suppose that's how we got through. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. The thought of doing it without Sinead, it would have been a very lonely experience.
Yeah, but that's what I'm talking about, just winging it. Didn't even think about that. It's just like, I'll do it on my own. Yeah, why not?
Fuck it. Give it a go.
I'll just hire some people, yeah.
Yeah, it's just simple.
Yeah,
right?
And then it's like, it's quite hard. Yeah, so.
And it is hard running a business. I mean, being at the top floor, essentially, of, and even like myself as a sole trader, like without having community around you, like it can be very lonely, and having to make big decisions on your own and just hope that they are the right decisions. It's a lot.
And I think obviously we've been going for like 20, 21 years now. So you learn so much. Like decisions I made back then would be very different now. How I led back then to now is totally different. It's just natural. Like you kind of learn a lot of lessons, and you make a lot of mistakes along the way.
Yeah. How's your relationship with ambition changed over the time? Like if you look at that, like early recruitment days versus now, like, how has that shifted
it's
for you?
Shifted a lot as I've grown older, and life changes and things happen and they change you. So when my kids were born, obviously then you kind of have to make the space for them, and your career and your business probably isn't number one. But lucky me, I had people also to run that business while I took time off, or Simon to run that business, plus the other leadership team. So it's definitely shifted, but I think it goes up and down. Like when my mum was diagnosed with lung cancer 3 years ago, and I ended up having to go back a lot. So I think in 3 years I was looking at UK tax returns, and you have to put down how many days you're there. So in 3 years I was there 18 months. So I wasn't here for very much either. So that was another time where I couldn't really focus on the business.
Yeah.
But again, I'm so grateful because one, I have Simon and the leadership team who kept that running absolutely brilliantly. And I didn't really have to worry about it. I mean, how amazing is that?
Yeah.
And then two, I had that business and I had the opportunity to be able to take that time off and have the means to be able to keep flying back and forth. So yeah, I think your relationship with ambition and kind of your priorities change depending on what's going on in your life.
Yeah, totally. And talk to me about having kids whilst running the business, right? What's the age gap between?
18 months.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, so you just knocked him back to back. You just went like, if we're in for a penny. Which is
very glamorous. Yeah, but I had them 18 months apart. So yeah, that was crazy. Now I think I worked quite far along until the first one. Simon tells a different story, but I did come back in between for a few months. And then I had a fair amount of time off again. And then I think my youngest was just two or three, and then came back to work.
Yeah.
But I was part-time then. So worked a lot less. I think it's hard, innit? I don't think anyone's really got it sussed. I think like luckily for me, Rick is flexible, my husband, with his work. So we kind of just share it between us. And again, it depends on what's going on. Sometimes things at home are going on, so you have to be at home more.
Yeah.
And depends on what stage they're at. I found when they were really young, that was really hard because they were so close together as well. And just like they don't sleep, do they? And they're always off ill and what have you. So,
I'm in the thick of that at the moment.
Yeah, and daycare.
Yeah,
Nightmare.
It's great. She, just as a like side, my husband dropped Emma off this morning, and apparently she walked into daycare and announced to the room, "I have a cold." We were like,
God.
shh, it's a sniffle. You're fine. You are fine. There's no temperature. Get in there. Like,
Oh yeah, because
it's just rolling.
yeah, I ended up having to take mine out.
Did you?
Yeah.
'Cause they just kept getting sick.
Yeah, and then just got babysitters. Just
Yeah.
ended up doing that. But obviously it's hard for some people that can't do that with the hours and things. So, but yeah, I ended up taking them out until they went to preschool. But that time, yeah, probably did less work then. And then they go to school, so you have a bit more time to maybe focus on work. And then mine are teenagers now. So, well, I was supposed to be doing less work, but it feels, I don't know, things are like ramping up a bit again. So,
Yeah. Okay.
and my husband's kind of semi-retired. So I'm like, well, you can do a bit more at home and I can do a bit more at work. Yeah.
How, yeah, and I think that's the thing, isn't it? My husband's been off for the last couple of months, like the difference of like having someone around a bit more.
Oh yeah,
My
I don't
gosh.
know. I did put another post up because Rick's been going away for like zillions of holidays. He's basically not been able to do them while I've been back in the UK. So it's like, right, I'm going to go on my surf trip.
Yeah,
And,
okay.
so he went away on a surf trip to Maldives, which wasn't a holiday. It was just training.
Oh, okay.
Like,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
whatever. So he went there. But I was like, oh my God, I don't know. Like, if you're on your own permanently and you're working, it's just like relentless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that I look back because my mum, my parents separated when I was 8. So there was, my sister was 10, 8, and my younger sister 4, right?
Oh, wow.
And we were with my mum the majority of the time and she worked. And I look at that now and I'm like, I just don't know how you did it. She's like, just did it because I,
no
that
choice.
kind of like
Yeah.
stoic, like,
Yeah.
she's like, because you just do it,
Yeah.
because that's what you're doing. But, and I just think about it now and I'm like, it would be unrelenting, you know?
Yeah. I think, and then they've got so much on now, these, like, my weekends are spent driving them around everywhere.
People say this. I'm not looking forward to
It's good and bad, isn't it? Like, your stage now is hard because they're so reliant on you. I reckon the golden years are around sort of 6 and 7, 8 when they're at school, but they're not having to do all the activities. And then, mind you, mine started maybe 7 or 8. It's just constant every night. All weekends.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? Because now at the moment, because I have Thursdays and Fridays off with Emma, so we can pack, we've got swimming lessons, we've got ballet, we can, and then we can still have our weekends free.
Yeah.
And like the minute she starts school, everything's got to fit around school hours, and I've got to try and figure out how I work between the hours of pretty much 10 till 2 because by the time I've dropped her off and then pick her up. So it's just, I think the challenges just shift, don't they? Depending on what stage you're at.
That's it.
And with that, how has that, obviously now day to day, does that feel more manageable for you? I mean, you've been, you've had the business 21 years, obviously kids are teenagers now. Like, do you feel like you've got balance, or is that something that you have to really work at? Like,
I'm very good at it.
Your own time, work time, family time, like, does it feel stretched thin, or are you actually quite good at holding boundaries around that stuff?
I think I don't think I'm particularly skilled in that balance still. I think that's something that I still struggle with, and it depends on what I'm doing. If I'm recruiting, it's a nightmare because you kind of get a bit obsessed, and then like you've got to fill that job, so you've got to source your candidates or whatever. So those are the times when probably I'm working late when I really shouldn't be. I think, I still don't think I'm that good at it, to be honest, to be quite frank. I think if you ask my kids, like, because when I went 2 days a week when my mum was ill, because I was away so much. And then when I was back, I thought, I really should be at home more. And then my daughter went, I thought you were supposed to be working less. And she was like, you're not. So I didn't. It's very hard, isn't it? If you're kind of, I just find it really hard to be like, no, I'm not going to do that. No, I definitely think I'm a work in progress. I work when I'm in something, I like get a bit obsessed with it and want to succeed at it. So that becomes a challenge to be able to like cut off and not do that.
Yeah. And it doesn't stop when you're actually recruiting, which is why I think it's so amazing that you are still like so involved in it in that way, right? And I think it makes a massive difference to the team around you, because I think them getting to see you in action and the way that you work would be very inspiring for them. They're working for an owner, a founder who is still very, very much active within the client base and on the tools. But I guess on the flip side of that, like if you need to take interview feedback, you got to take it. You don't just get to go, I'm offline on Thursday. Job gets called in. It's like, well, then you have to do it, right?
You can't. You have to be able to do it. But I suppose I am grateful I've got flexibility with being an owner, so I can kind of design my week how I want it to be. And I can take that call, do some stuff, and then not work, and that's fine. So I suppose that's an advantage of having your own business. There's a lot of things that I am grateful for with the business. The business has changed my life for the better. And I wouldn't have, there's when you were talking about ambition, I think when I first started off, it was very much like, me, where am I going to go on holiday? What clothes am I going to buy? I spent all the money I earned, so I had nothing to show for it, but I had a really good time. Whereas, I mean, I still do like shopping, but where you're focusing maybe changes, doesn't it? It's for me, I'm grateful for the business because I was able to take that time off and spend it with my mum. I was able to pay for her to come over when she was well enough on business class flights. I I was able to go back and forth. So there's a lot that if I had been an employee, I wouldn't have been able to do that.
Yeah. Like actually being able to prioritize life, right?
Yeah.
And have the business support that rather than the other way around.
Yeah. I think my focus has changed from like material goods, even though I do like stuff like I say, but it's more about, it gives you options.
Yes.
If you are lucky enough to have a successful business. So.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I can't imagine having had the experience with motherhood, especially that I had. Like we had a pretty kind of traumatic start to Emma's life, and those first few months, and I really struggled in postpartum. If I'd have worked for someone, I would have really struggled. I think being able to dictate and design work around our life and our family, and being able to prioritize her, and not saying that you don't prioritize your kids when you work for someone else, but really just being able to be like, well, I get to do this in completely the way that I want.
You have options.
You feel so lucky to have been able to do that, right? And not to have to be in an office 5 days a week. And I know a lot of people don't have that luxury, and I think but I think I've said this across every season of my career in recruitment. Like, I feel like this career has given me so many options in my life. Like, it allowed me to travel to the other side of the world and build a life here. Yeah. It's allowed me to buy, my first, and then, the home that we live in now. It allows me to go home. It's allowed me to treat my parents to come over here. Like, all of these things that, when I was like a 20-year-old rat bag, I was like, I don't know. I would literally was like, I don't know what I'm doing with my life, Like, it was just about going out and having drinks and having enough money to, go to H&M.
Afford your outfit on a Saturday night.
Yeah, exactly. And a few WKDs,
the blue wicked.
Yeah, what were we doing drinking those? But yeah, that's all like, and if I look back now, I'm like, I just don't know if I'd have created this life without this career, you know. So I have at all stages of it, I feel a lot of gratitude for it. Because I feel like it's one of those jobs that you do actually get to run as your own business, even from kind of day one, or what you put in, you get out. I think you don't have to climb the kind of corporate ladder, play the waiting game, right? You get to progress based on how much you put in and how much you put out.
And that's what drove me, actually, and that's what excited me and still does excite me now. Your ability to kind of totally influence the outcome by what you do, and it's exciting. It's exciting to be able to think about, if you wanted to buy a home or whatever, and you can do that at a young age.
I see working with people, have been extremely successful and managing to buy property in like their late 20s. I'm like, it's incredible, What other industries would you be able to do that? Not many.
No.
And kind of turning the conversation a little bit towards kind of women specifically.
Yeah.
Because obviously, and you've got a pretty healthy balance of women and men across Precision, and would have managed both. But what do you believe that women in particular, and not saying that men wouldn't struggle with it, but kind of quietly carry, or is a harder element of the job for women, or that you've seen is more of a challenge for them in our industry?
I don't know whether it's industry specific, but, and you've probably had other guests say this, but when you're a parent, my husband's amazing, but he'd kill me for this, but I still do more at home than he does. And then I'm probably still working more hours than he does. And that's nothing against him, but it's just kind of, that's the role that women tend to take on. So I think I don't know the stats, but I can't remember how many hours extra we work at home.
Oh, it's insane, I think.
And then and like I say, my husband's really, really good. Like, I couldn't have run Precision without him. But yeah, you still do take on more time doing the jobs at home. You are still, like, say this morning, my daughter wanted me to stay at home, even though my husband's there. So you still are kind of the carer, like naturally, which is nice. It's good. But we just have to do more and just get on with it. So I think that's a major thing. And also, like my age, then there's the other side where you kind of you've got your kids and then you're maybe menopausal as well. So you're going through all of that shift, which is major. There's a lot of things in the press now, but I'm the only woman of my age at work, so they don't have a clue. And they look at me like, what are you talking about, as I'm trying to remember a word. And then you've got parents as well, probably, if you're lucky. But, you know, with my recent experience, I had a very sick mum as well that I had to, I was the main kind of person for her as well. So it's that, what do they call it, sandwich generation. She wasn't living with me, but I was really responsible for her as well. So there's a lot going on in that time. There's a lot of pressure. I would say these last 3 years have been the hardest of my life. To balance all that. But that said, I am lucky because I've got a supportive husband. I have a business which I can leave and confidently know it will get looked after really, really well. My kids are healthy. So I am a lot luckier than a lot of people, but I would say the last 3 years there's been a lot going on.
It's just been a lot. I mean, I feel like it's not until you're in these things that you can truly understand them,
I didn't have a clue. No.
And I did, you know, I dread to think, you know, on some of the advice I might have given to people I was coaching who had kids when I, you know, didn't
when
have
you didn't have
kids.
them.
Sorry,
you never
to
know.
Anyone. You just don't know, you know, me
until
with my
you've experienced
2-hour
it.
freaking morning routine. Like, you know, it's just if you can find time for a coffee, you know, at least sit down and have 5 minutes. Like, you don't get to control that. Like, you lose a lot of control once you've had kids.
Yeah.
And I think I would say it's only in the last like year, really, maybe 18 months, that the conversation around menopause has become more prominent. I think before that, I think people are, that it's become less taboo. You know, and I think the whole kind of postnatal piece has been kind of years in the making, and there's a lot more understanding of that now. But I think it's only, I don't know, maybe it's just the era that I'm moving into and the people that I'm engaging with. But it seems like it's only now that people are going, well, hang on a minute.
It's only in the last few years, I reckon.
There's this whole other period that a woman goes through that is as life-changing and astounding as being postpartum. And we just don't take it into consideration.
No. And also in the workplace, I don't know that, again, it's a bit pointless because I don't know the actual stat, but an incredibly high number of people end up giving up work because they can't cope with it.
It's horrendous.
At this age. And it's just, I don't know. It's insane to me that it's not talked about enough, and then men are like, menopause. It's like, don't want to talk about it. What's wrong with you? You know, it's really not accepted, or people are like, rolling their eyes as if you're just like banging on about something. So I think it's very, like, women of my age, it's been talked about more, but probably not enough, I'd say.
Yeah. And I think, yes, I would agree. And I also think, you know, naturally recruitment is a younger demographic of people, right? Yeah. So if we want people to continue their careers in our industry, we've got to be able to support them through motherhood, definitely, and then through that next stage, because the demographic typically is early 20s to mid 30s. And I speak to so many women who are like, I don't know how I'm going to go back to running a desk after having a kid. Like, I don't know how that's going to work, being back full time, or how you split a desk in recruitment so that you can work part time. Like, there's that whole conversation. And then there's such a smaller percentage of women in our industry at those kind of later years of their career, unless if they're not running their own business. Like, I could name maybe like 5, you know, and I think there's just not enough conversation about it. And I think also because it's not naturally the demographic of our industry, so then it makes it even harder because it's even more isolating. I
kind of never really thought about, you're right, it is a young it's dominated by younger people, I'd say.
Definitely at consultant level.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. And so I think it's important to kind of keep talking about it, because I think, we have got a pretty ageist industry, I'd say. And I would like to think women of my age have got a lot to offer. So we should be nurturing that and talking about it and encouraging, you know, mentoring, just to make sure that we give women, you know, beyond the age of 45 or whatever, like that platform to be able to be successful still.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I from the conversations I've been having recently about this, I just cannot comprehend that we have to go. There's just another thing that we have to go through, you know, like. And
I was talking to a lad in the office.
Me.
I was talking to a lad and he went, "What?" Sorry, I shouldn't talk about this. "What, you just stop having your periods?" I was like, "Yeah, you just stop." Because that's good, isn't it? I was like, "Well, yeah, but then
at the end of it,
there's a whole lot of things that go on as well." And he was like, "What?" And I said, "Well, like, you have total, like me now, brain fog. You don't sleep." I think the amount of people that have mental health problems is massive during menopause.
Yeah.
So there's a whole load of things that come with that.
They're just like, "This is your periods. So just stop, right? Just can't have any more babies. That's great."
Yeah, it was funny. So just stop. And then I said, "Then you might lose your hair." And then he goes, "Well, that's good." He goes, "Yeah, but you might get it elsewhere and stuff, but you don't want it."
Oh God. Yeah, I mean, if it's anything like my postpartum experience, like, you know, I couldn't string a word together most days. I found I couldn't believe the shift in like my brain.
Just after you'd had Emma, or?
I think it wasn't until about 8-9 months that I was like, okay, I feel like I'm landing a little bit. I just couldn't, you know, and I kind of dipped back into work at like the 6-month mark. But I just couldn't like forward think. Like if anyone had asked me anything like strategically, I'd have been like, I just couldn't use my brain in that way. It was like I was just like so wired for like real time, what's needed right now, what does Emma need right, like I was just in my nervous system, in her nervous system, I think. And I think it was about 8-9 months that I was kind of like, okay, I'm landing a little bit. But yeah.
But I wonder if it's because you mentioned that you'd had quite a traumatic start.
I think so. I think everything was like full kind of nervous system on fire. You know?
You just like focused on your daughter.
Yeah, the immediacy of her being here and her needs. And I think back to your point as well, because my husband is amazing as well. But I think I was definitely naive that, you know, you can balance it between the two of you more, but as naturally the primary caregiver,
especially when they're young
especially when they're young, and she just sometimes like she just wants her mum, you know, and sometimes, and like it's as hard as that is for my husband, you know, he's really had to deal with that, because I think we were like, well, you know, once it reaches a certain point, like if she needs someone overnight, it's just whoever's least tired. It's like, it doesn't work like that. Like she wants mum overnight. She said I had a bad dream. It's got to be mum, you know? So I don't think you've got as much control as you think maybe you do around it being a perfect split. And that's just not how life works.
No, life's not like that.
No. And when you've been at home with them and, you know, I think that there can be a natural...
Yeah, and that'll change as well when she gets older. You'll probably have it like my husband was, he's the fun one. So they were close to the dad, then they hit like puberty and they hate the dad.
Yeah, okay.
We're just coming out of it with the eldest one.
How old is she?
15.
Yeah, she's the oldest.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
So that's another fun time. And then they only want you then, but then they're really angry at you. So
yeah, I can't wait for that. That'll be really nice and confusing. Oh yeah, if I'm anything like what my poor mum had to go through, if Em gives me the same, were
you naughty?
I was like just push back on everything.
Really?
You know,
See, I was really good.
Were you?
I just, again, like my husband's naughty, so I'm like, I bet they're taking after you.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm in trouble for sure. I'm in major trouble.
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah. She might, touch wood.
Yeah.
And last couple of questions for you. What advice would you give to our audience now to kind of support them with either navigating a recruitment career or navigating it alongside life, or like if you could look back at yourself in those early years, like what advice would you impart?
I think don't overthink things. Give it a go. Like, what's the worst that can happen? Like that would be my number one tip. And then also, you never feel ready. So you just like even now, I think people have this impression of maybe me, but underneath it, I'm like, well, I don't know, really, I'll just give it a go. And I think, so I wouldn't feed too much into those kind of, oh, well, they know what they're doing, but I don't know. I haven't got a clue. No one's got a clue. It's just about just giving it a go. And particularly women, I think sometimes women, unlike men, are a bit afraid to just take that leap and give it a go. Where I think the reality is no one's ever ready to start something new. If you just give it a go, what's the worst that can happen? It's never that bad, is it?
Yeah, I love it. And last question for you. What's your absolute go-to I've had a day of it ritual? Like the ultimate Jill Ryder self-care. What does it look like for you?
Well, I'll tell you, like I go home, I go for a walk.
Put your meditation app on.
I go and talk to my daughters and say, how's your day been? But in reality, I'd probably pour myself a large glass of wine, a large block of chocolate.
Yeah. What's your go-to chocolate?
Well, I've moved to the Whittaker's caramel chocolate one now.
Okay.
That and Tony's, like those two. And then probably put on like a good Netflix show.
Done. Easy. It's so funny because everyone has sat here and said, look, I feel like I should be saying that I go to the gym or whatever. And all we've had is like different versions of like wine, chocolate, and like, and sofa. But yeah, like sometimes it's just got to be done, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's all you need.
Yeah.
Comfort.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be my go-to wind down.
I love it. Jill, we've run out of time and I could sit here and talk to you for ages, and I just am so appreciative of your time and your honesty and your wing it mentality. It's like super inspiring.
I'll be asking you to cut out.
Edit.
It's all really well thought through.
No, but I think it's really important for people to see that you can just take a leap and things can work. And I think that's, not everyone is a 5-year plan type of person, right? I've always run my business thinking like, well, like let it evolve, like see what happens, just go with your gut,
Do have plans now though, I promise. We're a bit better now. 20 odd years down.
I think it's really important for people to see that you can take a leap of faith, and that it trusting yourself pays off. So thank you so much for your time.
Pleasure. I've enjoyed it. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode. I really hope you enjoyed it and have taken something away from it. Click follow to receive new episodes as they're released. And if you know someone else in recruitment who needs to hear this episode, please send it their way. Lastly, leaving a review is so appreciated and helps others find the podcast. I really look forward to seeing you next time.